This presentation is about my chosen dystopia, which is just Earth without its ocean. On Earth, we have a finite amount of every resource, but one of the resources we can't quite use up that fast is water. It's a whole system on its own, but what if all the water on Earth disappeared? This concept has been thought of many times before, but we wouldn't be able to have all the water disappear. Our planet is a closed system and water can evaporate, but only to rain or snow down somewhere else. But in this scenario, if it were to happen, we would have to put down some boundaries so we didn't have to worry about the, laws of physics. First off, then we just follow a principle from a movie like Reisen to Saturn, which has the concept of taking all the water from the ocean. Not ice caps, not groundwater, just the ocean. That's the starting point of this presentation. There's plenty of ways humanity could end, but the first one comes shortly after losing all the water on Earth. You see, Earth has a very specific mass which helps us go around the sun. But if we don't have this mass and lose all our water, then Earth is not as heavy, and therefore we might either slip into the sun and burn up and all die, or we could just slip out to outer space and just freeze to death. So that's the first way of all of humanity ending. We can't just choose to say screw the laws of physics and not die from space. Instead, we'll die from biology, because we need food. We wouldn't be able to have any food. We wouldn't be able to grow anything without water. We wouldn't be able to hold any livestock without water. We wouldn't be able to get any fish without water. Everyone would go hungry and most of humanity will die. There's a few ways to get food still, but we have no agriculture, and climate change just gets even worse. We wouldn't be able to survive. A few sources of food, but that's not enough for all of humanity. Here, a great portion of us just die. But to the quote-unquote lucky few of us who survives, yeah, we're not gonna live to see a great future. We barely have any food, we barely have any water, and then there's climate change. There's no plants, and therefore they can't suck up any CO2. There's no water, so they wouldn't be able to cool down the earth. There's no cloud, so radiation from the sun would be skyrocketing, and therefore we would die of cancer much sooner. There would be wildfires, temperatures would grow, we would burn to death, starve, dehydrate much faster, and that's goodbye to humanity. The second way. If a lot of people are still alive and have water to survive and have food, there is a chance for them. We have a bunch of groundwater we can still use, but as soon as we use it, it won't come back. It's limited due to no rain. And we also have points in mountains where people could live and have water for a short amount of time, and especially short due to the temperature change. We would have the South and North Pole, Greenland and Iceland. Their ice caps would melt, and that would give some water. This would mean that the water would most likely go to the lowest points on the ocean. This is where there should be a small amount of chance for humanity to prosper, just that little bit. But as I said, there's a slight chance for humanity to still prosper and live. You see, we have only water in a very specific amount of places, and most of the vegetation around Earth is gone. But in Norway, we have a seed vault with every single seed on Earth, where we are able to copy and get every single fruit and vegetable back to Earth, and therefore be able to get a small bit of food. If we start plantations at the bottom of the ocean, we might still have a chance for us to be able to make more food. But we're still humans, and there's still plenty of capitalism left in us. Therefore, we might just still die because we wouldn't have any water to produce anything. The richest people on Earth would most likely prosper the most, because there's plenty of soda, plenty of stuff left, but again, that's a limited amount of resources, and that could lead to our demise. This leads me to my third point. If physics doesn't kill us and our own biology doesn't, we just do it ourselves. We end up killing each other. Because if you control the food and if you control the water, you live. And if you don't, you die. We've seen this, and you've probably seen a bunch of pictures of Mad Max already on the screen. And I just think it's a prime example. I haven't really seen it before, but I know the story, and it seems quite important for what I'm telling you. Because humanity will die. There wouldn't be anything left for us. You might be able to eat all dog food, but the chance of vegetation to grow, that's next to none. And normal people like us will most likely die. If we didn't already die in the whole process. Let's say for just a moment that we have a bit of faith in humanity. We find some odd way to ignore physics and weigh down the Earth enough to survive our orbit around the Sun. And then we were able to give food to most of humanity. We might die, some of us of course, but most of the people in the world will live. Alright. And if we were actually decent and handled the situation without too much capitalism, some might survive with decent classes, and our structure of the world might still be there, but I mean, who am I kidding? We'll most likely die. There doesn't seem to be any chance in any of these scenarios where humanity could survive. We really have to take care of our ocean. Today, there's plenty of trash in the ocean, which makes it undrinkable, and the ocean gets slightly more acidic all the time due to climate change. So there's less drinkable water, and we already know this is a problem for most people in most countries. There's plenty of people that already don't today have drinkable water, and if this happens to all of humanity, we're truly gone. We take this for granted, and we shouldn't. This is like a lesson. We have everything. It's not just we have water, we have soda, we have coffee, we have energy drink, we have, you name it. We're lucky today, and we shouldn't, take it for granted. Then there's everyone's favorite part of the presentation, the sources of every picture I used. This is the first one, and this is the second page of sources. And that's where my presentation ends. Have a good day.